From the juggling, the overwhelm, the things dropping through the cracks because you're trying to do 15 different things all in the same season, it doesn't have to be that way. And today we're going to dive into talking about how you can create the harmony between your life and business so you can do all of the things that are most important to you while amplifying your impact, income, and influence. So let's dive into it. Building the life you really desire, where you get to live in alignment with your values, you get to spend your time invested in things that really nourish your soul. You actually get to keep the first things first and lead a thriving, profitable business at the same time that allows you to change the lives of those around you, to lean into your gifts as they make room for you. It's a lot. That's a lot of moving pieces when you don't have a system in place to handle them. And as those two worlds can seem like they are colliding and suffocating you and creating these feelings of overwhelm, it's vitally important that you understand what it looks like for you to create harmony between the two of them. Because as long as you are walking out your purpose and walking in faith to do exactly what it is you are called and created to do, life is still going to happen because that's life, right? You have to be able to handle both worlds. And the reality is, you already are. You are more than able to handle building this business into a profitable brand that's changing lives, creating impact, and expanding the reach of what your gifts can do, while also building your life to be this place and entity that brings fulfillment and nourishment, and you are doing it on the terms that are uniquely wired for you. To get there, there are 3 different areas that we definitely have to tap into to make sure that you have that harmony so that you're operating in your optimal levels to do just that. So let's dive into these 3 pieces right now so that you can get the harmony to live in optimal levels of your life in every area. At the core of creating harmony and experiencing that in your world is your identity. It is knowing who you are, how you're uniquely wired, what you are purposed to do in this world. See, when you know who you are, you begin to eliminate the comparison cycle, the competition curve. All of those things don't become factors. And so you don't find yourself being pulled in 15, 16, 23 different directions because you've gotten really anchored in who you are. What are your gifts, your strengths, your weaknesses? See, a lot of times we jump into entrepreneurship and we don't actually take the time to do the digging to get clear about who we are and therefore the value that we're bringing to the space in the industry. We usually revert back to our default, which I'm going to talk about that later, but we usually revert back to the default of let me just do. Let me just find the people who are telling me what to do, and I'll just do whatever it is that they say I should be doing. When you are called in purpose to share your gifts, which if you're listening to this, you are, then you need to know exactly who is this person that's being called. Who's this person that has this gift? What is that gift? And really own that. Really stand tall in the fullness of who you are, how you are created, and what it is that you are meant to do in this world. That is the basis that will drive everything else that we talk about, everything else that you will do in this life. If you don't know who you are, harmony will always be a hurdle because you'll always be trying to get over to see how you can get it. You have to know who you are to even know what harmony means and looks like for you. Because for every single one of you, it's different. For me, it's different than what it's going to look like for you. But there are some principles that have to be there to make sure you can get it. And it starts with that identity piece, knowing exactly who you are. And as we step into who we are and the fullness of our gifts and owning that. Like standing in your authority of who you are, how you're wired, your personality, the things that make you you and that makes what you do unique. As you step into that, then it takes us into really understanding the next phase of this. This second phase of really understanding how you are supposed to release your gifts into the world. What is your life supposed to look like as a solopreneur moving to an entrepreneur, CEO in your business? What does that look like? All too often, we jump into entrepreneurship and we are following everyone else. And don't get me wrong, there are principles to what we do in these spaces, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to take how we practice those principles. You have to be able to take the principles that need to be in the business, that need to be how your life is cultivated as an entrepreneur in the business. And then you have to be able to put those into your own practices, meaning the way that you are meant to build out your business, how you are meant to lead your life in building out this business. Now, this lifestyle piece is also important because when you understand how your life is supposed to look, like the ultimate picture of the kind of life that you are desiring to create, then it begins to impact and influence and direct what model business you should be building. It makes a significant difference because if you know that as you're building your business, that family is one of your top priorities and your values, then I'm not going to choose a business model that's going to have me on the road 80% of the year, because that just doesn't align to the lifestyle that I know I am created to have. You have to know exactly what kind of lifestyle you are going after. And that goes back to that identity, knowing who you are, your wiring, what your values are, so that you can craft a lifestyle that actually aligns to who you are. Your impact is going to be much more significant when you are building the lifestyle that you are created for. So get clear about what is the lifestyle I'm really going after, because your business should be a layer into your lifestyle. Business should not become your lifestyle and then everything else tries to keep up and catch up. That's not how this goes. Business is a part of the lifestyle that you have. So what does that look like for you? How are you meant to release your gifts into the world? What does that look like for you? Those are questions that you need to answer and get clear about so that you can actually see this harmony start to bubble up. And as you get clear about exactly what that's supposed to look like, because this is who you are and you're going to be unapologetically you, then we can shift into phase 3. Now we're ready to really play this game. Here we go. It's where you really take control to create the harmony. It's the shift from default to design. Now, remember earlier I said we had a default up there. In general, we come into entrepreneurship, we're building a business, and it's very much in a default mode. You spend so much time in your business trying to do all the things, trying to be the graphic designer, I have to be the content creator, the copywriter, the tech guru. You're trying to do it all. And I get it because listen, when you're a one-man show, it has to get done. Like it has to get done. But when you make the shift from default to design, you position yourself to lead your life and business as a CEO. You get clear about what phase of business you're in. You understand where you are versus where you desire to be. And you want to get clear about what are the steps and strategies to close that gap so you can get there. In order to do all of that and make sure that you're not dropping anything in the cracks in your life, that you're not missing out on doing the things that you really would desire to do, but you keep pushing off because it's always something else pressing with the business, the way that you take all of that and shift from that default mode of building business to really designing the life and business that you really are created to show up in is time delegation. It is really getting clear about, you know what you want. The vision is there. You know what the lifestyle looks like. What is happening with your time, with your effort, and your energy? It's making that clock work for you. As a CEO who's going into, I'm leading my life, I'm leading my business, and it is becoming the optimal lens of what it is I'm supposed to experience on this side of heaven, then you have to take control of your clock. And you got to start telling your time what it's going to do. If you don't get intentional with dictating the identity of who you are and making everything about you align to who you are, the lifestyle that you're meant to create, that big vision of what you're really going after, and delegating your time to shift from default to I'm in control and I'm going to dictate what happens in my life. I'm going to dictate where I put time at, where I'm going to focus my effort and energies, what are my limits that are set around my life to make sure that I can get the harmony that I know I'm supposed to have. Earlier, I told you you have all of this, but it's up to you to activate it and to own leading it for you to experience that harmony in your world. It is time for you to make the great shift from default to design and really, really design the life that you want to show up in. The one where you are seeing all that you desire be in your hands and you are stewarding it well. That's the place that you want to be living from. That's how you're going to see harmony as your new norm, especially as we navigate the rest of 2020. If you're truly ready to experience this harmony and end this juggling act, to really step into the lifestyle that you know it's of who you are, what you are created to live in this world, and really experience the whole phrase of what it means to live your life by design, then you have to make sure that these anchors are places of complete clarity that you have taken ownership of, and you are making sure that your life is lived in alignment with everything that comes out of them for you. You're incredible, and it's time to create the harmony that only you deserve. So meet me in the comments. I'll be hanging out for the next hour, answering any questions, listening to your comments, and engaging with you. Love to just connect with you guys. So I'll see you right down there.